Hi, I'm Cameron Humphreys from Humphreys Outdoor Power. Today we are going to take a look at the all-new X1130. We just got this in. It's our first one that we've received so far. It's a beautiful machine. It's very popular. We're going to take a look at this, but we're also going to give it a comparison to the older X1140, which is very similar. They both have the same engine. They both have the same transmission, but we want to look at the bodies and see what some of the differences are, why you might go for the 1130 over the 1140. So let's dive in. But let's take a look at some of the features that kind of make this guy stand out in the lineup. Obviously, the first thing is this bed. So it is the longest bed Kubota makes. I brought a tape measure out, officially Kubota licensed tape measure. We're just going to measure here from one side to the other, and we're right at 6 foot. So that's internal 6 foot long, so you can haul just about anything to fit in there. If we look over here at the 1140, which was the longest bed that they had, we were right at 52 inches for the internal. So width-wise, let's see if we're the same. We're right at 59 inches. And then on this side, 59 inches. Yeah, so same width, just longer on this guy, which is very nice. From that upper angle, you can kind of get a feel for just how much bigger that actually looks like. Short of going to your dealership and seeing one, you can see that this one's definitely bigger than that one. Other feature that this thing has is that all three sides collapse, giving you a flatbed. So we can take a look at that real quick. Start back here. So you've got this little clip. You undo that portion. And then you come over and do the same thing on the other side. Like that. And then this tailgate will pop right down. As long as you have it unhooked. And then we can pop this down. And you can convert this whole thing into a flatbed. Before I pop this down, one of the other cool features, this thing is already preloaded. You can put 2x4s in here, so if you wanted to build any kind of stack, you can. Get this pop down. So you got your tie downs here. This thing is awesome. I mean, it very quickly converts into a flatbed, which is something that Kubota hasn't had before. Now this feature is available on the new RTV-X. We've already got a video on that, so if you're interested in that, check that out. But on this bigger flatbed, I just think it looks so cool. It's more of a utility vehicle, which is going to be good for the municipalities, universities, schools, all the things like that. So this blank space here, you can actually get a winch for it, so you can winch these up. You can get a tailgate extender that goes all the way down to the ground, so you can winch things all the way from the ground. It's super, super cool. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this guy back up, like so. Get both sides done. I think one of the biggest differences, aside from just the bed length, going from the 1140 to the 1130, is going to be the construction. So if we look with this 1140, where these side panels swing in, we've got a gap down here. So if you're hauling any kind of loose material, like sand, soil, that's gonna be a spot where that can potentially come out. Whereas if you look at this, we're solid all the way across for the most part. So I think this stuff's gonna haul way better. Obviously bigger loads, but I think some of your more troublesome loads like sand, dirt, that kind of stuff isn't going to spill out of this bed as much as it is the 1140. So I think going back to the comparison between the two, again, they have the exact same engine, the exact same transmission. If you're interested in hauling people at all, I think the 1140 is going to be the obvious answer because you've got that extra row of seats. But if you're just wanting the most utility vehicle out of both of them, I think this is going to work a little bit harder for you. Obviously, we can haul bigger loads. And I think from that perspective, the 1130 kind of sets itself apart from the 1140 a little bit. So one of the other things we wanted to look at was actually underneath the bed on both units. They're very, very similar. In fact, you can see this still has the cutout that they had used for the 1140 for the seat belts. They just used the same piece there, which is fine. What is different, you do have a locking mechanism, so you can actually lock this down, whereas on the 1140 we don't have that. And then we'd still have the locking cylinder here, so you can put that block here, and that'll keep that cylinder up if you're doing a lot of maintenance under the hood. This is the heartbeat of the whole situation, and it looks basically just like it does over there. So again, nothing real revolutionary in terms of the engine and transmission. We've seen all of that before, but still some nice features. I think with that extended bed, being able to lock that down, that's a definite win. On this cab, and again, this cab is not standard, this was an add-on, but it is really nice that you have the option to put it on here. Now we can put a cab on the old 1140, the old X900s, and the new RTV-X, the 850s. We can put a cab on basically anything. But I feel like this kind of became like a small utility truck almost. On the inside, it's going to look basically like our old RTV-X series, the 1140s, the 900s, the 11, well, it's not going to look like the 1100 because it doesn't have AC, which is probably the only downside to this guy. So we can still put heat in it, but we can't put an AC unit in this. They did go ahead and install the wiper, which is really cool. We've still got storage underneath the seats, still have a glove box, and we have a really nice dash panel here. So these are some of the extras they have, the windshield wipers, the strobe lights, things of that nature. So we're very, very excited about the new RTV X1130. Like I said, this one had only been here maybe a week before it was sold. I already have customers lined up who want more of them. I think they're going to be kind of hard to get a hold of this year, so if you want one, definitely contact your local dealer. Make sure they're aware that you want it, either put your name in for it or whatever system they have set for that. But regardless, I think this is an awesome addition to the lineup, something that was kind of missing out of it. While it's similar to the 1140, it's not exactly the same. But yeah, so this has been the RTV X1130 kind of breakdown, walkthrough, and comparison to the 1140. And if you have any questions or anything, make sure to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and of course subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for new videos, again, leave those in the comments. Thanks and have a good day.